You've heard it over and over from advisors, and I'm no exception. Wait until 70 to take your CPP. But what if I told you that I may have been mistaken? As an advisor, I'm really starting to rethink the advice I've been giving and why delaying your CPP might not be the best move after all. Let's do this. When it comes to CPP, there's a ton of information about when to take it and how to get the most out of your benefits. And as an advisor, I meet with a lot of prospective clients. Many of you reach out to me through my channel and you're always asking me when is the best time to take your CPP and OAS benefits to maximize the money. And it should come as no surprise that I'm hardwired to maximize your dollars when it comes to your retirement. This is what I thought would be the most important thing to my clients. How do I optimize or maximize the amount of money you have, minimize your taxes, and stretch every dollar as far as it's possible to help ensure a successful retirement? But I can't help but wonder if I might be taking the wrong approach. Stretching your money and making every dollar count is undeniably important, but is it the most important thing in all cases? And in doing research for this video, I asked myself another small but critical question. Should I be thinking more about how long you'll actually enjoy the money vis-a-vis how long that money will last with you optimizing it? Because as I found out, there's a massive difference between lifespan, the years that you're expected to live, and healthspan, the years that you'll live without major health problems. Healthspan tells us the time that you have to live well with your health intact and doing the things that you love, and that can be dramatically shorter than lifespan. For example, in Canada, the mortality rates are pretty clear. According to OFSI and their study on mortality projections for social security programs in Canada, living to 90 or beyond might seem possible, but the reality is far more sobering. As of 2019, 74% of men and 60% of women will pass away before reaching 90. The odds are still stacked against most people despite advancements in health and medicine. Even though more Canadians are living longer than ever, up from just 4% of men and 6% of women in 1925, the fact remains that the vast majority of these people won't make it to extreme old age. By 2100, it's projected that only 55% of male newborns and 64% of female newborns will live to age 90. But for today's 20-year-olds, only 1 in 10 will live to see 100. Even if we somehow eliminate major killers like cancer and heart disease, it would only add a few more years, pushing life expectancy for a 65-year-old to 93 for men and 95 for women by 2069. The cold truth is that while life expectancy is slowly rising, the human body's ultimate limits so far remain firm. And again, despite our best efforts, most of us just won't live to see extreme old age. And when it comes to health span, the numbers look even worse. Sure, people might live into their 80s or 90s, but how many of those years will actually be in good health? According to Statistics Canada, the average Canadian is only expected to live to 69.7 years with good health. That means that on average, Canadians can expect to spend their last 12.9 years grappling with health problems and potentially having a lower quality of life. Chronic illness, mobility issues, and cognitive decline often begin well before the end of life, meaning that many people will spend their last decade or two battling some serious health problems. Living longer doesn't necessarily mean living better, and when planning for retirement, the real question is, how many of the years you have left will you truly get to enjoy? This is where the idea of optimizing your money for years that could be riddled with health problems could become far less appealing. Optimizing your finances for those years can feel pointless if you have health issues that overshadow them. And when we tack on mortality rates and add in the fact that you might not even make those ages, you can see why I'm rethinking the advice I give on CPP and OAS optimization, and why I'm realizing now that I may have been just a bit too quick to suggest waiting until age 70 purely for the sake of maximizing benefits. So let's get to the math and see just how the decision to take CPP at 60, 65, or 70 relates to end of life and the health adjusted life expectancy we have in Canada. We can use a calculator from PPI to examine the break-even rate of taking it early versus late, helping to have a serious look at whether pushing off your CPP really is the best option for you. And to find the best way to take your CPP or QPP, we'll enter some key values into the calculator. First, we'll choose CPP and set our current age at 50 with an end age of 90. We will use age 65 as our starting point, adjusting up or down to see how it affects our benefits. Then we will input an inflation rate of 2% and a rate of return of 4%. Finally, we'll set our eligibility for the maximum CPP at 100%. By entering these values, hopefully we can help uncover the break-even point for taking CPP early or late, helping to empower us to make the best decision for our retirement. And when we look at the break-even age for taking CPP between 65 and 70, it falls between 83 and 84 years old. This is significantly past the average life expectancy of 82.6 years in Canada, and this means that if you choose to wait until 70 to start receiving benefits, you'll likely need to live well into your 80s to truly benefit from that decision. Even if you do reach that age, your health-adjusted life expectancy suggests that you will likely face a lot of health issues during those later years. And given that many Canadians aren't going to reach 83 or 84, this raises the critical question about whether delaying CPP is actually worth it. Now, when we shift our focus to taking CPP at an earlier age, say age 60, the break-even age drops to 79, which is now quite a bit lower than the average life expectancy of 82.6 years, but this figure is still well beyond the health-adjusted life expectancy of 69.7 years. Given these numbers, it's pretty clear that taking a smaller amount of CPP earlier could be a better strategy if you want to enjoy some money, maybe not the most money, but a good chunk of money sooner while you're still younger and are relatively healthy. When it comes to the experience that I've had in my practice, I've unfortunately seen that many people do not pass away from old age. When I lose a client, it's often due to heart attack, stroke, cancer, or some unfortunate accident. And while I don't want to sound morbid, life can just take some pretty unexpected turns, and planning for your finances typically ignores that and assumes longevity based on family history. So it's essential to consider your options before the expectation of living to a ripe old age. While optimization is important, I've come to realize as an advisor that it may be a little less crucial than I initially thought. Now, I've explored plenty of plans taking CPP at 60, 65, and 70 to cover various possibilities, and I obviously try to look at the numbers and make them work out as good as possible. But ultimately, I now will examine three key factors to keep in mind. First, the math. You need to analyze your assets and income streams like rental properties or pensions while being aware that improper withdrawals can trigger a clawback on OAS. The goal isn't just to secure income, it's to minimize taxes on that income. The second factor is longevity. Even if you have a history of longevity in your family, which is great, unexpected events can change everything. Having a history of longevity in your family does not guarantee that you'll have the same experience. It's critical to recognize that life doesn't always go as planned. You can eat well, exercise, and surround yourself with supportive people, but ultimately health can be unpredictable. This reality leads me to consider that maybe taking your CPP earlier might be the better option. Now, with all of this said, an option that you probably won't regret is hitting that like button for the YouTube algorithm, as it really helps out my channel. Over 90% of my watch time is generated by viewers who are not subscribed. So please consider subscribing, as it really helps my videos get out to many more incredible viewers like you. Thanks again in advance for your support. Now, the third consideration I'll really be incorporating into my conversations with clients is Healthspan, the number of really good years you have left to enjoy life. Living a long time means very little if those years aren't filled with health and vitality. When deciding on whether or not to take your CPP later, we have to think about your health during those years. Many people face health challenges as they age, making it essential to plan for the years when you can truly enjoy your retirement. By focusing on Healthspan, we can help ensure that your financial strategy supports living your best life in the years that count the most. So, having reflected on my approach to advising clients about CPP, I've realized the importance of considering not just how long you might live, but how well you live during those years. Simply focusing on the money is probably not helping my clients fully, and the focus probably should shift from merely just optimizing your finances to the best potential payout for your best potential years in good health. Given the reality of Healthspan and the various factors that can impact longevity, taking CPP earlier may be a smarter choice for many. It allows you to enjoy your benefits while you're still active and able to make the most of life. Ultimately, it's about crafting a retirement plan that prioritizes your health and happiness and helping to ensure you can savor every moment of your well-earned retirement. Do you want to see if you lose your CPP and OAS if you retire abroad? Or maybe you just want to see my latest upload? Well, I've got everything all queued up and ready for you. Click here for more amazing financial insights. I'll be waiting. We'll see you soon.